My name is David. I'm going to be your mediator today. First of all, I would like to thank you for agreeing to attend this mediation session. I'm very happy that you're present today and willing to participate. To begin the process of mediation, please introduce yourselves and state the name you would like to be called. Since you were the one who requested this mediation session, please tell us your full name and let us know how you would like to be referred to during this discussion.
My name is Emily, and I would like to be referred to as Ms. Goodman.
Okay. Thank you. Now, Party B, please tell us your full name and tell us how you would like to be referred to during the discussion.
My name is Laura Love, and my son was dating her daughter, and she has a problem with
Well, we'll discuss that kind of stuff later on. We just want to get the ground rules down, find out who everybody is.
Okay.
About mediation. Mediation is an informal process in which disputing parties discuss their situation with the goal of reaching a mutually satisfactory agreement or gaining new perceptions about this situation. I am a neutral intermediary who will facilitate. At certain times during today's session, I may ask to speak to either both of you individually in a private session. Such an individual session can aid us in gaining greater understanding of your needs and desires. Anything said during these individual sessions is also kept completely confidential. At the end of any individual session, I will check with you to discern what information I can share with the other party. There are several ground rules which I need your agreement before we can proceed. First of all, I ask that only one of you speak at a time. This is so that I can hear what is being said clearly and understand the situation completely. If you think of something to say while the other party is speaking, please write it down. The second ground rule is that I ask you both to speak initially directly to me and not to each other. This is so that I'll be able to understand the situation clearly. Do each of you agree to these ground rules?
So I can't speak to her, I have to speak to you?
Yes, initially you will speak to me and me only.
As if she's not there?
As if she is not there.
I can do that.
Do either of you have any suggestions for any further ground rules or in terms of how we conduct this mediation?
I don't think she needs to have hate language. I think it needs to not be abusive, and I think she needs to keep her, especially about my children, under control.
Okay, so no hate language. Could I say that we would have a ground rule of having, we will treat each other with respect?
I think that's a good ground rule.
So how about courtesy? We'll use politeness as well.
Yeah, no phone calls in the middle of this cussing me out.
Does that sound good to you?
That sounds good to me.
All right, do either of you have any questions about why we are here, how this process is going to work? Mrs. Goodman, are you ready and willing to begin our mediation session?
Sure.
Mrs. Love, are you ready and willing to begin our mediation session?
Yes, sir.
Good then, let's begin.
Yes, sir.
Good then, let's begin. Okay, Mrs. Goodman, I need for you to tell me about the problem.
Well, you know, the problem started when I started getting all these hateful phone calls in the middle of the night, and that my daughter was called all kinds of names over something that she didn't even do. Anyway.
Okay, well, what exactly is the problem? Is it the hateful phone calls that's the problem?
No, it's the fact that she has taken, you know, she has taken her integrity, her morality, everything, and passed it all around town as if my child was the only one involved in this relationship.
Mrs. Goodman, I'm going to have to ask you to make sure that you're using courtesy when you're speaking.
Okay.
Okay. So you feel that Mrs. Love is talking bad about you around town?
Yeah, and especially at work. You know, I walk down the hallway and automatically I hear all these whispers about my daughter being inappropriate and how, you know, she sleeps with every boy in town and so on and so forth. And I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it.
Okay.
I take it very personal.
Mrs. Goodman, if you will, I want you to hold that thought. I'm going to come back to you in just a moment.
Okay.
Mrs. Love, tell me your side of the problem.
My side of the problem is that Miss Goodman thinks that her daughter's a saint and that her daughter has a bunch of friends. And these friends go and tell their friends, and they tell their friends that tell their friends, and it becomes, and most of their friends' mothers work at the school. And so by the time it's all twisted and one person calls the other person, and it just keeps going on and on and on, and then more things are being told.
I understand that y'all used to have a cordial working relationship. Is this true?
Yes, sir, it is.
Mrs. Goodman, would you say that at one point y'all had a cordial
I would say we were,
working
yeah, we were pretty
relationship?
good friends until all this
Good
mess
friends?
started.
Okay, I would like for you to think about how things were before and how they are now, and perhaps see if we can nail down the problem for sure. Because I think that the phone calls, whispers, and gossiping is just a symptom of a greater problem.
Well, sure it is.
Can we nail down one particular problem that it is that we'd like to solve? Because if we don't solve the problem, then we're not going to do away with the symptoms of the problem.
No, then you're going to have to get rid of 2 children in this problem. And that would be one, her son, and all of their friends.
Well, hang on. We're not solving the problem. We're stating the problem so that we can solve the problem. So can you nail down and pinpoint what the problem is?
I can tell you exactly who the problem is, yes.
The problem is not going to be who, but it's going to be...
Me and Laura were friends, perfect friends. We've been friends forever. I mean, these kids have known each other since they were in diapers, played together and everything. And then what happens is they get together, and then you know how kids are. They are so mean and evil. And now I get all these phone calls. My daughter is anorexic. She won't eat.
So Mrs. Goodman, I understand that you're very upset about the
I am.
situation.
Because I feel like, Laura and Troy, they went above and beyond what they should have.
That we'd like to get out of this session.
I think we'd like the truth.
The truth. I agree.
Okay.
I think the truth would be nice.
So
I think we need the truth.
what do we want the truth about?
I think the truth needs to be about the situation that actually has happened.
Okay. And Mrs.
Because
Goodman?
we cannot go by hearsay. It ruins relationships.
Okay.
I agree with that. I mean, it's evident.
Okay, I would ask for y'all to speak to me rather than to one another at this point. Okay, so we're trying to identify the truth so that we can solve the problem, because there are lies that are going around. So what we're trying to get at is the true scenario. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's correct.
Okay, and by getting to the truth, what is that going to do for us? This is good.
Well, I think it would clear up all of this nonsense that's roaming around and that lurks behind every desk that I walk by with all this gossip.
Mrs. Love, if we get to the truth, what is it going to
I think if we get to the truth, it would also restore our relationship. We would be able to carry on our work relationship a lot better. And our children would even get along a lot better.
Okay, so if we can get to a specific account of what's going on with your children, then perhaps we can just work through it, and then both of y'all will know what each other is thinking.